Bad boys, what you gonna do? So you're thinking about moving to Kansas City, but you've been scrolling through crime stats and now you're wondering, are you gonna need a bulletproof vest to go check your mail?
Is Kansas City dangerous? Well, that depends on who you ask and where you're getting your information. Some people will tell you it's a war zone.
Due to the graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised.
Others are going to say it's perfectly safe everywhere.
The truth, it's somewhere in the middle, and today we're breaking down exactly what areas to avoid, which neighborhoods are incredibly safe, and the real safety tips you're going to need to know for moving to Kansas City. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Max Jones.
And I'm Zach Morton.
And if you're new to the channel, we make videos about everything you need to know about living in Kansas City.
We've helped thousands of families move to Kansas City over the past 20 plus years, but you don't have to take our word for it. See what our clients have to say with over 750 five-star Google reviews from folks just like you. So if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe.
Today we're going to give you the lowdown, real truth about safety in Kansas City, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and what you actually need to know to stay safe.
And we are going to be completely honest with you about Kansas City safety. There's definitely areas that you want to avoid, and there's huge parts of Kansas City that are perfectly safe. One of the most common questions we get is safety, especially if you're moving here with your family, and we want you to know where it's going to be safe.
Absolutely. You can't just look at the overall crime stats and make a decision of whether Kansas City is dangerous or not. Kansas City is a huge metro area. We're talking a 25-mile radius, so saying is Kansas City safe or is Kansas City dangerous is like saying is America safe or is America dangerous. It all depends on where you live.
That's right. So today we're going to be breaking down a real-life safety situation in Kansas City, neighborhood by neighborhood, to give you practical advice that you need to make an informed decision on whether it's dangerous to live here or not.
All right, let's take it in for the big picture on crime statistics.
Let's do it.
Kansas City's overall crime rating is average for a major metro area. It's not as high as St. Louis or Chicago, but it's not a sleepy little town either.
Yeah, pretty big city, and most of our crime is really just property related. So you got like cars being vandalized, people stealing packages off front porches, stuff like that.
Yeah, not a whole lot of violent crime. We actually we did a little search for the research of this video and pulled some headlines because people are selling clicks with headlines. So we pulled some headlines here.
Yeah, right. So if you Google, is Kansas City safe? Like all this negative stuff's gonna pop up because that's what gets clicks. But there's a couple entertaining ones that we want to share with you.
The first headline is Donkey Cart Road Rage. A Missouri man was charged after forcing an animal-drawn vehicle off the road. So if you're from the coast, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Mennonites, but there are some people that will be with a horse and buggy on the side of the highway. Apparently there was a run-in with one of those people, and
road rage. Yeah, you will see that. Like maybe I see that once a year, once every 2 years. It's kind of when you're out in the country, like Weston or just outside of town, where you'll bump into some Mennonites and see some horse and buggies on the highway.
You know, it's a funny joke that we hear a lot is, oh, you're from Missouri, do you drive a tractor to school? There may be some truth to that. Not me personally, but some people may take their tractor to school. Another funny headline here is Liberty's, that's where I live, Liberty's dinosaur disaster. A Grain Valley man yard dinosaur was stolen and replaced by a kind stranger. So I guess a guy on Facebook Marketplace pilfered a T-Rex in some guy's front yard, and a little bit of lighthearted shenanigans going on there.
Devastating.
Yeah, big deal, big headline.
Yeah, I have had a couple real estate signs stolen over the years, so yeah, it happens.
Then there is a Lenexa man that he was a drunk driver. Definitely don't recommend that. Take those Ubers, people. But the drunk driver got caught because he took a nap on the highway and was facing DUI charges. So a couple lighthearted, funny news headlines about the crime in Kansas City. Are you thinking about relocating to Kansas City? Well, we've got just the thing for you. Our team has actually taken the time to create the ultimate relocation guide, which is meant to save you hours of research. And we've linked it down below, from top employers, the best hospitals, and the highest rated schools, and a boatload of other information you're gonna wanna know before making the move. And the best part, boy, this guide is 100% free. That's right, you heard me right, 100% free. Just click the link in the description in the top pinned comment.
Hope that helps. So those are pretty good stories, Max, and that's kind of a fun way to make light of the crime in Kansas City. But the truth is there are some dangerous areas in Kansas City. I always like to think of the crime like I try to avoid the crime I can't walk away from. So there are areas of a town, especially, you know, after dark, that you don't want to be going through. And I've got a good story. I mean, the first one that comes to mind is the northeast side of Kansas City downtown, which we live in the Northland, like Max and I both do. So it's different than that. It's it's just south of the river, but it's the northeast side of downtown Kansas City. So that kind of gets a tough rap. There's a lot of crime down there. There's some lower income housing and, you know, busy streets. It's close to downtown. And in fact, a story I'll share with you, my son just turned, well, I guess he's still 16, but anyway, he just got his license. All his buddies are getting their licenses. So he's out riding around with his friend and they're exploring the city, getting their bearings. And thank God we can track our kids now on our cell phones, because I called him and I was like, hey, you know, you need to get home. It's time to go to bed, you got school tomorrow, whatever. And he's like, Dad, or he texted me back and he's like, Dad, I can't talk right now. We've got the music playing, so I can't talk in the car. I'm in the back seat and we're jamming. So I like, okay, I'm gonna track him to see how close he is to home. And he's downtown. It's like 9:30 on a Sunday night, blasting his music. So I'm driving down Prospect, which is basically this northeast area of downtown that I'm talking about. Him and his buddies, they've got no clue what they're doing. And I'm just like, you know, we joke in Kansas City calling it the bullet zone, because there's probably more violence that happens down there, gun related, than anywhere. So I'm just like, get your beep home now. And then we had a little talk about, you know, we had the same talk we're having with you, I had with my son not too long ago.
Yeah, for sure. That Independence Avenue corridor is a little hairy. And then you've got the east side of Kansas City, which is kind of an extension of the northeast, is down all along 71. So 71 highway will run all the way down to the plaza. And if you go east of 71, it's not the best area. Then you head west of 71 and it gets really nice. So it's kind of a gradient right through that area. It has some higher crime. It's a little more pockets than it is the whole area, and it's improving.
Yeah.
For sure, but that's an area I'd probably avoid for purchasing a home.
Yeah, and then even like over, that kind of bleeds into Independence a little bit. The west side of Independence is kind of rough. Independence is a major suburb of Kansas City, and as you go further east through Independence, it continues to get better, but that's that one that butts up right against downtown Kansas City. And another spot to kind of keep your eye on or avoid at night is downtown Kansas City, Kansas. It's kind of funny how like downtown keeps coming up in these, but you know, the closer you are to the city, it's just the more people there is in a smaller area. And those are older areas, and those older areas tend over time, you know, people keep moving to newer stuff and moving out. So they just tend to get run down a little bit, and that's exactly, you know, what you see there on the Kansas City, Kansas side as well.
Yeah, they have some great restaurants in Kansas City, Kansas,
Yes.
that I really love to go to. Like El Pollo Rey is a great one, and then Slaps Barbecues down there. During the day, it's not so dangerous that you can't go to one of the great restaurants and eat. You probably just don't want to be farting around at night if you're a 16-year-old kid and don't know what you're doing.
Yeah,
So.
and yeah, any of those main roads where all the restaurants and all the businesses are on, you know, you're probably not gonna have a problem there. It's when you start weaving back into neighborhoods, you know, where you just feel like maybe my car doesn't belong in this neighborhood kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it, you know, so if you have a little bit of street smarts about you, you can go wandering around in the day and probably stay out of trouble.
Yeah, so these areas we're talking about, they represent less than 20% of the Kansas City metro area, and the remaining 85% is phenomenal. It's considered very safe, especially when you get out in the burbs. All the suburbs surrounding Kansas City are really safe, very low crime. So let's talk about those safer areas.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, coming in, number one, where we live is the Northland. So you've got everything north of the river is Liberty on the east side, Parkville on the west side, even in between the Gladstone, Smithville area, all really low crime, great places to live. That's why we've chosen to live here. Very minor issues. You might see somebody sneaking into a garage that got left open, or, you know, somebody will, you know, hit a deer or something.
Yeah.
That's not really crime, but
yeah, there's definitely, that's probably the most dangerous crime, or not, the most dangerous thing you need to look out for in the Northland is the deer on the highway. I mean, I've hit one. I think probably everybody I know has hit one at some point in their driving career. And that can be super, if you're coming from a place without deer are nocturnal, they move at night, especially in the fall and the spring and the winter. and you're driving down the highway, it gets dark early, right? So 5 o'clock, you're hitting your rush hour, you're in a little more traffic than normal, and then one deer jumps out in front of your car and makes a mess of things, and now you're locking up your brakes in the highway, and that's not good either. So
Yeah, those rutting bucks only have one thing on their mind, and they're not looking for cars.
yeah, they're chasing does, so they just got their head down and they're running through anything. And of course, you know, when deer see headlights, they don't see that as a threat. They just kind of get hypnotized. So anyway, that can be a real problem.
Combine that with a real crime is speeding. So a lot of people are speeding and deer are running around. So that's the other thing you got to watch out for is sometimes, especially if you have kids that are young like ours and just starting to drive, people can get a little heavy on the foot and be flying around.
Yeah, and even, you know, I live up north in a nice, you know, neighborhood with good school district and all that stuff. And even like, I've kind of noticed a pattern that like as soon as school gets out in the summer, even if your car is in your driveway, a lot of these crimes in the Northland are like opportunity crimes. Like you left your door unlocked and now all the kids are out of school. They don't have to be home at 9 o'clock tucked into bed, so they've got a lot of energy to burn. They're out wandering the neighborhood and, oh, you left your car unlocked, so they're taking your purse or your CDs or whatever. So
CDs, showing your age a little bit
cassette
there.
tapes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You're
so I had,
stealing those records right out of your car.
yeah, over 20 years in the Northland, I think my car got busted into once, and then my wife's car, and it was 2 weeks after school got out. Restless kids.
Yeah, then the other good areas around town are Johnson County, Overland Park. We mentioned that is one of the best areas in Kansas City. It also includes Leawood, Prairie Village. That part of town is phenomenal. Johnson County is great schools, really safe, very minimal crime. You might get TP'd or something like that, but you know, I mean, it's very low violent crime. If you look up the stats, it's like less than 1 per year.
Yeah, your biggest concern is probably somebody stealing a package from your front porch that Amazon dropped off. But everybody's got Ring doorbells and the neighbors are always looking out. So yeah, super safe. And another way you kind of tell too is you're searching for properties is, or looking at properties in Kansas City is the price points. Usually the higher the price point, the lower the days on market, the higher the property taxes. That all kind of funnels into some of the nicer areas in Kansas City. So if you see a deal that's too good to be true, maybe it's close to downtown, that might be a good indicator, especially if it's been on the market for, 60, 80 days, that might not be the best part of town.
Yep, if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Hey guys, it's Zach and Max here with the Mojo Real Estate team, and we love making these videos, but there's one thing that we love even more, and that's helping people and families from all over the world move to Kansas City. We've helped thousands of families over the last 26 years in business, but you don't have to take our word for it. You can see what our clients have to say with over 750 5-star Google reviews from folks just like you. So whether you're moving next week, next month, or even next year, you can reach out to us anytime. Our contact information is on the screen, and we've also got it pinned in the description below. And we look forward to chatting with you about your move to Kansas City.
Other areas that are really great are on the southeast suburb of Kansas City. You've got Lee Summit and Blue Springs. They're both very family friendly, great neighborhoods, good schools. You've got kids riding around on bikes, lake communities, very nice area.
Yeah. And then even Brookside and Waldo, we get a lot of people that are really looking for those. Those are super walkable areas that are really close to downtown. So pretty safe all in all if you stay within the neighborhood boundaries, but there is a gradient. As soon as you get outside of that, since you are still in downtown, it can kind of shift pretty quickly. So just something to be aware of if you're looking at those areas.
Yeah, if you're looking for the urban lifestyle, something more walkable with old charm and stuff, some people really want that artsy, kind of area. Brookside, Waldo, Plaza, Midtown can be really nice. You just have to, there's a gradient there, like Zach said. So in general, if you're looking at it, once you cross over Troost, if you're looking at the map, if it's east of Troost, the character definitely changes. You can sense it when you're driving through the area. So, and then, that's on the Missouri side, but once you go west all the way into Kansas, now you're into Prairie Village, and it's just really phenomenal. So charming area right in there, safe, but you're adjacent to some higher crime areas, so something to consider there.
Yeah. All right, so most property crimes are preventable if you just use a little bit of common sense, especially like lock your car doors, lock your house, stuff like that. And then also, you can put up security cameras. Everybody's got a Ring doorbell nowadays, and you can add extra cameras around your house. So that's another great way just to keep eyes on things.
Yeah, I have a fantastic security system that was really expensive, and I have never used it. So that's always something you can do. But even just having a camera or the sign, the sign that says it's secured can prevent a lot of problems. But it does not prevent little girls from coming over and what do you call that when they knock and run?
Door ding or ding dong?
Ding dong ditch, yeah. Yeah, that is a crime that occurs at my house because I have 2 boys. So, in fact, just the other night, there was some girls, a bunch of girls my younger boy's age, throwing a ball off the side of our house in our, like 1:30 in the morning. I don't know if they're trying to wake up Leo or what they were doing, but man, there's some crime going on in my house.
At least they're not throwing rocks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be worse.
But yeah, do your research. You can drive through during the day to kind of gauge what you feel. Drive through during the evening and just use common sense. Stick to well-lit areas. If they have street lights in the neighborhood, it's probably going to be a little less crime compared to the areas that don't. Check your surroundings. Well-maintained homes are usually a good, if people have pride of ownership and are taking care of their property, then usually it's a little less crime area. Kids playing, parks and that sort of thing, dog walkers, runners. Those are always good signs that it's a safe area.
Yeah, and if you're looking in the Brookside, Waldo, you want to be a little closer to that downtown, then when you're driving through those neighborhoods, you can look for like bars on windows, or there's people that'll steal air conditioners in certain part of towns, and they'll put a cage over the condenser unit, a metal cage, so you can't steal that. So if you start seeing things like that as you're driving around, you're like, maybe this isn't the place for me.
Yeah, and if you're really honing in on an area, you can talk to the neighbors. If there's a house that you're interested in, you could go knock on some neighbors' doors, ask them what they feel about the area. You can also hop on Facebook, or Nextdoor is a great website where you can kind of get a vibe of the community and get some insights. So definitely do your homework.
All right, parents, so school safety, what are the schools like? And I will say the suburban school districts are super safe. We've got Blue Valley, which is one of the best, it's the best school district in the entire state of Kansas. Park Hill, Liberty up north, and Lee Summit, there's several others. Super safe. They have some security measures where they're locking down the front doors. So I know as a parent, when I'm going in to get my kid, I have to like flash my ID, they scan it, they type it in, and they scan it to have me in the system before I can check my kid out. So I really like the safety measures in those school districts.
Yeah, the suburban school districts are phenomenal. The urban districts face a little bit more challenges, but serious safety incidents are really rare.
Yep. There is violent crime. It is super rare, but it happens. But our clients that have moved from bigger cities like New York, Chicago, that have way more crime, they say when they get to Kansas City, they feel super safe. I know I went to Portland, Oregon for a few years, which is slightly bigger than Kansas City, and I definitely feel safer in Kansas City. And I'll even, to piggyback on that, our homeless population in Kansas City, though it was creeping up there, I think about, I don't know, it feels like 8 years ago or so by now, they did something and really cleaned that up. And you hardly see homeless people anymore, which is drastically different than Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
How about crime from New York to Kansas City?
I was kind of in the more gentrified areas of Brooklyn and Manhattan. There was crime, but it wasn't terrible. But definitely, the difference between there and here is pretty night and day. It feels a lot safer here. And really the recent trends for crime in 2025, we saw a little bit of a spike in crime back during the pandemic. There was a little bit of social unrest and in 2021, but things have really stabilized, improved a lot since 2025.
Since that time, there has been increased community policing and neighborhood programs that also enhance safety. Areas like the Crossroad districts, which used to be kind of sketchy, has really transformed itself into a fun, vibrant place to hang out.
Yeah, there's been a lot of investment in those areas, and I think the money comes in and kind of cleans up the riffraff, so to speak. So yeah, we've seen the trend has been even getting better for Kansas City. But if you're moving to Kansas City and you want recommendations, really I'd focus on the safe suburbs, Johnson County, the Northland, Lee Summit, Blue Springs, those areas for if crime is really important to you. You can avoid those high crime areas that we mentioned, parts of Troost and KCK and Northeast. Once you reach out to us for an initial consultation, we can pull up the map and really zero in on the areas that are going to be the best fit for you, depending on where you're going to work, if you travel a lot, what your priorities are, and we'll be able to show you specifically the areas we're talking about.
All right, now for that question of the day. For those of you thinking about moving to Kansas City, where are you going to be moving from, and what's the main reason you're leaving your current city or state? We are truly curious, so make sure to let us know down below. Also, if you have any questions or thoughts, you can leave those in the comments down below, or even better, text, call, or email us. Our information is on the pop-up on the screen.
All right, so a couple more funny headlines before we wrap up. We've got Overland Park saucy crime pad thai. Pad thai burglar caught with sticky fingers. I guess they busted in the middle of the night and got caught stealing some late night noodles. Then you've got Lenexa man's high-speed chase ends with a stolen gun, but no movie action deal. He got caught because he didn't really have the fastest getaway car. Oh, here's a good one. Parkville teen torches Teslas. A 19-year-old from Parkville made headlines in 2025 for setting a fire at a Tesla dealership. Oh, and then in Overland Park, I guess Overland Park man's copper wire capper cuts internet for thousands. So these people stealing copper, I guess they cut into some fiber optics and nobody had internet for quite a few days, so.
No Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that'll really get people fired up. Not in my backyard.
Hey, so if safety is your main concern about moving to Kansas City, I hope this video has helped you put things into perspective. The reality is Kansas City has incredibly safe areas where you can raise a family, buy a house, and feel completely secure.
You just need to know where those safe areas are in Kansas City and be smart about your choices. And that's where we come in. We've helped thousands of families find safe, great neighborhoods in Kansas City.
So if you're thinking about making a move to Kansas City and you're concerned about safety, don't let fear hold you back. Get out there, drive around, do a little research, talk to some experts, and make an informed decision about Kansas City.
And if you want our help with that process, evaluating Kansas City, reach out to us anytime. We'll give you a personalized consultation about the neighborhoods, the school safety, and everything you need to know about our city.
And we're not just realtors, we're lifelong residents, local experts, and we want to make sure you feel safe where you live. In fact, if you buy a house and you don't love it within that first year, we have a love it or we list it for free guarantee. We'll put it right back on the market and sell it for you at no cost.
So thanks for watching our breakdown of Kansas City safety. If you found this video helpful, make sure you hit subscribe for more insider information about living in Kansas City. We've got videos about neighborhoods, schools, things to do, and everything you need to know.
If you have specific questions about safety in certain areas, then feel free to drop that in the comments and we'll do our best to answer those questions. We love hearing feedback from you guys.
Yeah, if you have any stories about Kansas City that you'd like to add in the comments, we'd love to hear those too. So that about does it. We'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there, and we hope to see you in Kansas City soon.
See you next time.